Well, hello, everybody, and good morning. I'm Isabel, and I'm a life coach. I help women in midlife to create healthier relationships. But today, it is my pleasure and honor to have Manu here from France. And I wish I could do this whole interview in French since I was born there, but I don't speak it, so it's in English. So welcome, Manu.
Thank you, Isabel, for inviting me to this interview. And it's great because it's going to be a good challenge for me to pick up my English because I haven't lived in London for 3 years now, so I don't practice it as much. But
London. Good.
yeah.
Good. So it's going to be interesting. And I just want you to tell us, who are you, Manu, and what do you do?
Who am I? I'm many things. I'm many things. I like to think that I am a little soul who is experiencing the school of life, in this planet. And what I'm experiencing, I'm trying to get the learnings and teaching other people to actually transcend that for themselves. So what I do is I'm a transformational coach and I'm a life coach too. And I'm really trying to get people to understand that they're not who they think they are. So what I do is really try to make people understand and connect to who they truly are. And that means that to understand their mechanism process, their mind, how their mind is working, why they are this type of person and not another, why they react a certain way and not another. And basically to me is we've created a number of little people, number of people in here in our mind, and we fully identify to those people, like the perfectionist or the mother or the controller or whatever, the rejected and the inner child who is suffering, and all of these little people. We totally identified ourselves to them. So I'm trying to teach that we are not actually those people in our brain. We are actually the soul who is watching and experiencing all those little people acting like crazy in our mind. And and it's crazy because when they're all there, they're like, shut up, shut up, shut up. It's like giving your ego, basically. But we are not the ego of the mind. We are a soul who is experiencing. But as soon as you take a step back and you're looking at what's going on in your brain and you're really connected to your thought process, then you can heal and you can really connect to who you truly are. And that is so amazing because then you go beyond your limiting beliefs, you go beyond your fear, you go beyond all your history, what your parents told you or was right or was wrong. Actually, you can be whatever you want. You don't have to be in those conditionment anymore, in this conditioning anymore. So that's kind of what I do.
Wow, that is deep and fascinating. And as a fellow coach, I understand some of that, but for some listeners, give us an example of how you would approach a client that comes to you. How would you help them to see these voices, these people, these little people, as you called them, that are going crazy in our heads? And we know the voices, right? How would you get a client to see what's going on?
Well, basically, I just had one before you as a consultation. So it's like a potential client. And at some point she said, she lost a child, and she said, my thought was, and still is, I'm not a good mother because I could not keep that child and I couldn't save him because he was born and he died after like a few months. And I'm like, but that belief is still there because you still totally identify to the thought process and the belief that you're not a good mom. And now she's a mom and she's always trying to be a good mom for a daughter because she's got that belief that she's not.
She's not. But she is. Oh boy. Yes, I can see that.
I said, and also because every single little person that we've created in our head, the source of that is a wound that we had, a trauma or something.
A wound, yes.
And obviously for her, the source is very clear.
Yes.
And I said, as soon as you let go of that belief that you are not good enough as a mother, and remove like the guilt around associated with that, then you will be free. And then you will believe that you are a good mother because you are. This is what you are,
So the magic is in helping her to let go of that belief, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Wow. I can see how that is hard. Yes, that is hard. That is a whole different like there's grief involved in that situation, right? There's and her
Yeah.
probably not being aware that she has this belief that is keeping her from actually being a good mom, which is what every mom wants to be, right? So it's keeping her from that one. That goes deep. Amazing, amazing work. So tell us a little more about who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay,
Emanuelle,
so so I come from a farm in Normandy, in the north of
Normandy.
France, countryside, and I hated the farm. I didn't like it. I was like, I want people around me. I want to party. I don't want to be stuck in the farm. So as soon as I could, I left first to study in a big city in France, and then as soon as I've done that, I wanted more. I wanted a bigger city. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to experience life on my own. I wanted to break all those links,
Yes.
with like, oh, you have to get married and have children and be happy and have a house. I was like, I didn't really resonate with
Not
me.
for Manu.
Yeah, and I had three brothers. So in the farming in farming industry, in the farming, the daughter is doing a lot. Like the girls are doing a lot. They have to help. They have to
Yes.
clean. And I was like, I'm not doing all of that. This is not my path. I don't
I'm
want to
out
be
of
like,
here.
yeah, I'm out of here. So let me go abroad to make sure nobody is gonna go and get me there. So I left to
Where did you
London.
go?
I went to London.
London.
And I found a job there in fashion, which was not my industry at all. And I
Nice.
ended up like the devils wear Prada, where
Yes.
you are totally, totally not fitting in. But I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I was going to New York, I was doing to Italy, I was doing all the fashion weeks around the world. I was
Nice.
selling jewelry. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I wanted to spend 2 years there because my English was so poor. So I was like, at least if I can do 2 years in England, I would be in a good place to come back home. And 17 years later, I'm still there. I was still there.
17. Wow.
And over the years, I became so many different things, but I ended up being a project manager in logistic and supply chain for Marks and Spencer's, which is one of the biggest companies in the UK.
Wow.
I was traveling around the world. And by that time, so that's 2015, I was really stressed. I was not sleeping. I was insomniac. I had back problems. I had this digestion problem. I was like super stressed. I was going out a lot, drinking a lot, doing a lot of sport, traveling a lot, working a lot, doing everything a lot. And my body broke down that year. So I had like a breakdown, basically. I was exhausted. And from that point, I discovered transcendental meditation, which is an ancestral meditation technique from India. And I was like, oh my God, that totally shifted me in a month. Like my life turned upside down. And I was like, what is happening?
What's
Like,
happening?
I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to do something else. And life coaching came to me straight away. It was obvious that this is what I wanted to do. I've always loved books, like self-development books. I've always read
Self-development.
many
Yes.
things.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, that's what I need to do. So I studied that and neuro-linguistic programming for a year. And I've decided to start my own business, which I did in 2016 while I was still working. So all of this was like 2 jobs in one.
Yes.
And then Brexit happened. And I was like, oh, what is this now? It felt like I was no longer belonging in the UK. I wanted to set up my own business. I wanted to create an online business because I wanted to be free to go wherever I wanted. Wanted to keep that freedom.
Yes.
And I thought, okay, I need better weather. I can't deal with this grayness anymore. I don't enjoy London that much anymore. I don't want to go on the tube anymore.
Yes.
I don't want rain. I don't want this. So I'm going to go to the south of France where it's sunny all year round and be by the beach, the mountain, and just, start my business there. So that happened. And that was painful because the day I've decided to resign from my job, my back locked and I could not move. And I had back problems for years, but that didn't happen for 2 years. So I was really like very good. And I was like, what is going on?
What's going on?
And I couldn't get help in the UK. Like my osteopath was like, I don't know what happened, but you are totally blocked. And I'm like, oh my God. So my spine moved. So I was like, I was like, what? And I couldn't get care. Like nobody could help me.
Oh
So by
no.
the time I went to, so I decided to go back to Normandy first to see my parents. And actually I was there for 6 months
Yes.
because at a certain point I couldn't stand up, I couldn't walk. And I realized that doing like healing work with the group that I found, which I'm now doing in my coaching, is that I realized that the back is everything around fear, around your primary needs and money.
Really?
Yes. And I always had a big thing around security, securing myself, but I was like, that's bizarre because I'm really ready to go home. I'm ready to start my own business. I had savings,
Yes.
for me, I was safe, but it was bigger than me. It was very unconscious. And the fact that I was going home with no job, no salary, was going against my family values, going home to actually tell my parents, this is what I'm doing, even though I'm 37 and I know what I'm doing. They were like, okay, how are you going to do this? I'm like, I don't know. And my body was like, you're not going to do it. Like, as long as you're locked and you cannot move, you are secure because your primary needs are met because you live at your parents.
Interesting.
And I was like, okay, got that. So now I'm going to work on myself really hard to shift those belief systems, which I knew were there, but I didn't know they were that deep.
Yes.
So I started that work, healing work with that group of people. I started training with them. So understanding that healing process that he actually setting up this technique. This guy is called Duke Sayer, who lives in London. And that work really helped me. And I didn't want to have an operation. I didn't have to have injection. I was like, I can do this with my brain. I can do it with my energy and I can heal myself. And if I can heal myself, then others will be able to heal, because I need to understand what belief I have in my unconscious or subconscious that I don't know about. Where does it come from? So I found a lot of dirty stuff that I didn't really like.
Oh, yes.
and that was not easy. Like I was really suffering. Like my body was like, I had Valium, I had morphine, I couldn't walk. Every step was so painful. I could feel like my parents, was painful to them. So it was really, really hard. But then I thought, you know what, I can do this. And I did it. So of course, I found also good doctors and good physio who helped me to move my body. But because the mind and the energy was unlocked, then the body could start unlocking.
Wow.
And then I was, so I did a month in like what we call a rehab center for the back. I don't know how we call it really.
Rehab.
And that was, and they asked you to do 8 hours. Well, it was 6 hours of exercise a day. And I was like, I can't walk. How do you expect me to do this?
That's intense.
And that was so intense, but I was like, okay, my body is locked. I need to move my body. Like, it's not going to unlock with that movement. And I think it was that equal amount of physical and mindset together that really helped me to unlock myself. And today that healing work is at the core of my business. Like,
wow,
this is what I do. I do healing sessions with coaching and action and motivation and all that coaching.
All that.
Plus the subconscious.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a story. So now you haven't had any back problems after that?
No. I'm very careful. I look after it. And when I feel like tension or I feel like, something is up, but it's because I'm not moving enough. And I know I'm not doing, my stretching, and I know what to do. But now nowhere near. I haven't seen an osteopath since I came back from rehab in January 2018. Wow. So,
and I find this amazing that, the heartache and the hardship you went through is exactly what you're using now to help other women, right? So
and also I think
what happens.
It is, and I think the biggest learning with the body, and there's so many people who go through that, is somehow the human being needs to go through physical pain to
Pain.
get the bloody lessons.
To learn the lesson. You're right.
And this is why I'm trying to tell my clients, do not get to that point. Do not get to that physical pain to heal yourself, because that is so hard to get back from physical
Then
pain
it's
where you
harder.
have so many warning before. And I think the hardest thing about the physical pain is to accept the pain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think for me, it was like the day I started accepting my pain and accepting that it was there and it was for me to be my friend in a way. That day was a massive
shift. Yeah.
a massive shift. Yeah. That day I was like,
Wow.
okay, I need to talk to my pain. It's part of me. It's not something I need to reject, because I was rejecting.
I think we all would, right? We all would initially. Yes. Wow. What a transformation. A pain as friend. Oh, wow. Yeah, we don't want to say that, don't we? But once you did that, it could move forward, right?
And I think the pain is such a good message, and that's why there's so many books, around body pain. And if you have this emotionally, that that means that. And this is the book I always use, because sometimes it gives you so many keys about your knee is painful. What does it mean? Your throat is painful. What are you not saying? What are you not communicating? And as soon as you connect to that, then it's a massive lesson, and then you can really go deep into healing that emotional blockage that you have.
Yeah. So anybody, did you hear it? Don't let it go to that.
Exactly. Do not get to the physical pain.
Yes.
That is nice.
Listen to the little pains first. So Manu, what is coming up that is really exciting in your life? Tell us about the retreat.
Oh my God. So the retreat with the Powerball team is going to happen in 2023 for me. I'm doing a retreat first in France in September, so in a month, which is going to be about the sacred feminine. So all the feminine energy, reconnecting to your heart, reconnecting to your intuition, and how do you create your project, from that space. So how do you reconnect to the heart space in order to create what you really want to create in this life? And then the Powerball retreat in 2023. I like to think that I know what I'm going to do, but because I know that my own evolutions evolve with my business. Right now, what I've just explained about the mind and the power of the thought process and the belief system, and really being aware about what's going on in your mind at every second, really gives you all the keys that you need to work on to transcend it. So I think that retreat is going to be about the power of your mind, and really understand who you really are and what's going on in your mind, and transforming all of that in order to connect to who you really are and who you really want to be, because you can be anything, actually.
Beautiful. And tell us where is this awesome retreat going to happen?
It's going to be in Italy, La Belle Sabianita. And so this is an amazing place that Joe has created, or has actually bought. And I am so excited. I think I'm going to go there in 2022 to visit it first.
Nice.
And to see what the retreats are happening there at the time, because we're all together in that amazing team. And I'm going to go there because I'm really close, actually. I'm a few hours away drive. So
awesome.
So I'm going to go there for the first few
retreats. Take pictures for us. Yes. As a tour.
Lots of selfies. And yes, I'm really excited, because Italy is one of my favorite country in Europe. And I love Italy, and I haven't been, for 2 years because of COVID, but I really, really want to go back. So I think it was an amazing opportunity for me to go to Italy and offer this 1 month retreat there in this amazing location with the beautiful weather, with I think the energy there is going to be amazing.
Amazing, yes.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do that in this wonderful place.
So that sounds exciting. And knowing that, as what you just told me, that you will evolve until the date of the retreat. But for right now, who would this retreat be for? If anybody's interested, who is the woman that you could imagine wanting to be at your retreat?
I think, oh my God, I think my retreat is for everyone, because I think everyone could do that work. There is no limit to inner knowledge. But if I had to, target it more, I think it's for anyone. But I love working with women because I think I understand them better than men. So I'm better with women than men.
Yes.
But I would say any woman who has projects, but she can feel like she's got blockages, she's got beliefs that are not aligned, she's got fears, she's got things that maybe she believes she's not capable, maybe she's got like things that she knows are not the source of that, but knowing that maybe she had experiences in her past that are really hard and she's never healed, then I think we need to start with that, healing the past to create the future. So anyone who's got really amazing project that they want to create in this life, it could be a professional project or personal project, it can be anything really. I think any project that is not realized yet is because there is something blocking in the
Beautiful.
subconscious. So
I'll sign up. Sounds wonderful, wonderful. Well, Manu, before we wrap up, I want you to tell the listeners one fun fact about you.
One fun fact about me. Wow. Oh my God, so many.
So many, just one.
One fun fact, I used to be a scout.
Nice.
Yes, I've been a scout and a chef of a scout. I don't know how we call them. Chef 10, we say in France. I've been a scout for like probably 10 years of my life. So I've been in the woods and building tents and building tables. And I think that was a really cool learning for me, because you really learn like to be in nature, to be independent, to go back to basics and to live in a group and to really be actually yourself in the group and have your voice, but also listening to others. So you live in a tent for like 2-3 weeks in a row, so it's quite it's quite a process, but it's so funny because I'm saying that because last week I had to come back in a van, from the other side of France, because I couldn't travel any other way, and I didn't wash for 3 days. Van, and we hardly had toilets access, and I was like, oh my God, that reminds me where I was a scout. And actually it was easy for me because I remember. It's no drama, I can do that. So I was like, I haven't done that for 20 years, so that was funny.
That is interesting. So if I'm ever lost, I want to be lost with Manu because she'll help me survive.
Yeah. You know what? If we get lost in the woods somewhere in Italy, we will be able to survive. I will do a fire, and we'll be fine.
Amazing. Before we say goodbye or au revoir, is there anything else you would like to share?
Anything else I would like to share? I think my advice or my little thing that I love doing is gratitude. Because for me, there is a book that is called The Magic from Rhonda Byrne. I don't know if you know that book, and it's 28 days of gratitude challenge.
I'll write it down. 28 days of gratitude.
Yeah. So every day you have a chapter, you read it and you apply the next day, and you learn to be grateful for everything you have in your life, even if you feel you don't have. And that's totally a massive mindset shift. And you can, just by reading this book, you change your thought process about every area of your life. And there is no more lack. You have everything right here, right now. And that's the book I give to all my clients as a present, because I feel like if you read this book and do it and practice it, because it's all about practice, then, just by reading this book is very transformational. And I've read it six times. I've done this 6 times already for me, and every time I do it I'm like, oh my God, life is great.
Life is great. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that book. I know I've done one with 100 thank yous, but it wasn't like 28. So I like the challenge of a 28-day challenge because you can do it. It's not too overwhelming. So thank you so much for sharing that book with us. And I will just say thank you, Manu, for being here and sharing your vision and your warmth and your beautiful accent. So we're actually both French born, but I don't have the French accent.
You have more the German accent than the French.
I have more of a German accent. That's where I grew up, by the way. So thank you so much, Manu, and au revoir et bisous. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabelle. Thank you.